Back in the 90s, I was in a very famous TV show. Boom, broke it. Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today. A bit of a reaction video of Gina Carano. Got fired from Mandalorian, from Star Wars, for some stuff that she said on Twitter. Or stuff that she, from what I understand, I guess Twitter likes you to have your preferred pronouns, whether it is he, him, or she, her, or zim, zer, them, they. They just like you to have what you prefer to be called. Gina at one point had said like beep, boop, bop. That was her like preferred pronouns. I kind of just like joking at it as if I don't know what Gina wants to be called. I would imagine based on her findings or whatever, she just likes she or her. But she did that as a joke. Rustled so many jimmies. A bunch of the woke or liberal left, like far left, just got super angry. Cancel culture came in and got her fired from Star Wars. Now, thankfully, she is not the main star of the Star Wars show of the Mandalorian, where you have, you know, the child known as Baby Yoda. I won't say his real name in case of spoilers. And then you have Mando. Now, she was a very strong supporting character. Lots of people loved her. If she was the main star of this show, would Disney have fired her? I don't know. But if she was and they got fired and this show got canceled, you're putting, I don't know how many thousands of people out of work. So I feel like a lot of people, they don't think about this. Now, me as a business owner, especially in New York, reserve the right to fire anyone for any reason. Like, if you think they are not good for business, have the right to fire them. However, I am also a veteran, United States Air Force. Dashy back there is wearing my hat for 4 years. And I think it is wrong and dangerous to try to cancel people over words. Like, you have a freedom of speech. Part of what I served this country for was for that First Amendment. All right, obviously there's multiple different parts: speech, press, religion, assembly, and petition. But speech, you have that right not to talk about the weather. You have that right so you can say controversial things. And in order to interact, you have to risk offending and being offended. That's how you grow. That's how you get smart. That's how you learn about other cultures. And to cancel her for making a joke, one that I guarantee you she did not mean to be offensive. I guarantee, like, there are many things that she could have said that would have greatly rustled some more jimmies, would have greatly offended. And I feel like, you know, I'm not going to be like super macho, like, right, like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's left, first of all, but like I feel like he would say something along the lines of like, just like, you know, this is what happens when you don't have to hunt for your food, when you're bored. And maybe there is something to that. Maybe there's something to like, okay, there's no imminent danger here, so you're looking for this excuse to be like woke and say like, okay, because I am so offended by this, that means I care about, you know, whatever. And you can make the argument where I'm a cis, I'm definitely not white, so I'm a minority, but I am a straight male. Mostly, not gonna lie. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, Antonio Banderas. I'm gonna digress in case my aunt watches this, who thinks I am of the... Anyway, but at the same time, if that's comedy, if that's... And again, I don't think she calls herself like a comedian, but if someone's gonna make fun of it, yeah, it'd be funny. Like, when I heard... And if I were to just hear like, oh, she made her thing beep, bop, boop, I'd be like, oh, nice, you know, robot. That'd be something similar to like where Robert Downey Jr. on his Twitter says, you know who I am. Like, it's funny. It's one of those little things that makes it funny. And I think to cancel someone and fire them and just try to get them to shut up when you don't like what they have to say, is wrong, again, on so many levels. Just it's wrong because, again, that goes against everything that I fought for in the military, but also because all right, if they can't say this, and that is in my mind not offensive at all. Now, granted, again, veteran, so you could, like, me and my friends in the military, we would play 8-ball pool. Anyone knows that? It's the app. This is not a sponsor. They're not paying me for this. It's a really fun game, but you could, like, bet coins, and it's also frustrating because if somebody beats you and you lose those coins, me and my friends were saying god awful things to each other, like, "Hey, Chavez, hope you don't wake up tomorrow," and then, they would curse me out, and then somebody else would come in and it's like, hey, hope your children are born without legs. Like, they would say some god awful stuff. So I'm not easily offended, but at the same time, I can still say, like, probably shouldn't have said that. Probably should not have said that. Like Hagrid, should not have said that. Should not have said that. But this was not one of those things. This is something more like, okay, like if she were to say something like, I cut the grass the other day, so now I self-identify as a Hispanic person. That's kind of funny. Like, that's a dig at Hispanic people, but it's also funny because to be comically comedian, make jokes, there is a certain amount of pain in there somewhere. So I don't believe that this is the right thing to do. It's very wrong. And again, if they're trying to cancel people over this, and this is nothing, like, and again, I am left as far as I love the environment. I believe global warming is a real, horrendously real threat that we have to combat. I'm right because I love guns. I am, again, sort of military, and I think that you have a right to defend yourself with weapons and money. I think that I've never taken a government handout. That is a lie. That is a lie. I actually cashed in that last stimulus check. So no, so I don't want to say that. That would be a lie. But I'm also left in the fact that, okay, I hope that Biden does a good job. I hope that President Biden, I don't wish bad on anyone. And I think we should all just try to love each other. And if that's just, you're doing a very poor job if you're trying to cancel other people just for words. And if you're offended, you want to stand on your hill and pontificate and play victims, oh, that offends me. Dude, the real world is not kind. Now, maybe you could say, like, you can shape your own world, because, like, okay, well, Chavez, not everyone, was in the military. Not everyone was all over the world. Some people are just some people don't leave their hometown, and maybe they don't know the world. Maybe they just know a certain part of it. But you have to be willing to risk. You have to be willing to think, be challenged, and that's not even that. The beep bop boop is not even that at all. She had said something in the past about being confused or whatever about trans people in general, and she just said, like, I don't get it. But never did I ever hear her say, like, trans people shouldn't be a thing. They shouldn't, like, those words didn't come out of her mouth. The words that she had said were not that. And then when Pedro Pascal, the guy who plays Mandalorian, says, like, hey, my sister is trans, was brother, now is sister. And she came out after that and said, oh, like, hey, I didn't understand before. I didn't know that was a thing, but now I do. And it's somewhat, I had a couple of gay friends in the military, but this one guy, again, don't want to mention names, I'm getting kind of semi-big on YouTube, happened to be gay. And I knew this other guy that, and this other girl actually too, that just straight up just were told that being gay is a sin, and it is not the right thing to do. And again, I'm not religious, so I don't know exactly where I would stand on that. But after, a while spending time with my other friends, like, oh, you're just like a normal person. Like, you're not, this sinner. You're not like this blasphemous. But no, so, and that's, I think, what she found out. She's like, oh, okay, so this is what, trans people are like. They're just people. And that is something that she learned throughout this thing. And a lot of people are trying to say, like, just shame her for what she said in the past and the beep bop boop thing. And it's kind of similar to when some people say, like, they make fun of other people for not knowing a word or a word that they just learned about yesterday. That's essentially what's going on. Where she didn't know exactly anything about trans people, trans rights or anything, and then after Pedro Pascal comes out saying like, hey, my sister's trans, so, oh, that's what that is. Okay, I didn't know. And yeah, so Bebop, the trans, there's so much. Again, I don't think this is right. I think that something that happened a while ago, it brings me back to like that James Gunn thing that happened where he had tweeted some really, and that's like what he had tweeted is like, okay, James probably might have gone a little too far with that, and he got fired off the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie. But then DC was like, oh, like you tweeted something like 10 years ago that you shouldn't have tweeted? I don't care. And they got him on the, what's that Harley Quinn movie? You know, that movie with Harley Quinn and Deadshot and everyone else, because they recognize the talent. And then after enough people on Disney side said, hey, he's really good, Suicide Squad, that's what it was. You know, eventually Disney brought him back. But yeah, I think this is something Disney will regret. I just want to make a quick video on this, because I did. Just my thoughts. I love you guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Again, much love to everyone. I love you all. Goodbye. Yeah.